Hey, how's it going, guys? MrBossFTW here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Grand Theft Auto kind of in the news spotlight with a bunch of recent current events that have gone on with some shootings that have taken place in the US. So every now and then, video games in general, specifically ones that are focused on like either gun violence or crimes, Grand Theft Auto typically comes into the limelight, one, for its name, two, for its past history with always being involved in like shooting headlines. And like I mentioned earlier, recently there have been some really tragic shootings that have gone on in the US involving gun violence. And whenever that sort of thing happens, the media, the national media, always turns to like a scapegoat, saying like, who can we blame for this? And whenever it, like I said, it involves gun violence, typically violent video games always seem to be at the cause of it, because these shootings typically occur with young or teenage or 20-something-year-old men. Video games are often related to that. And like I mentioned, Grand Theft Auto typically seems to be at the center of these controversies, and for what I believe is wrongly so. So I've made videos like this in the past when similar events have come up, and even for gun crimes. There was like a rape controversy where Grand Theft Auto was really just thrown under the bus, and they said, violence against women is all Grand Theft Auto's fault, which is totally ludicrous, and the same principle applies here. And I want this to be a discussion video with you guys in the comment section down below. What do you think of the recent crimes and school shootings that have gone on, and how do you think that relates to video games? Because there's been so many articles that have been posted, the national media has been all over Grand Theft Auto's case, pretty much saying how it is partially to blame for the increased gun violence that has gone on throughout the world, and more particularly the United States. And I think this is absolutely ludicrous, and I've got a really good argument, at least in my opinion, to back this up. So it is a horrible tragedy when something like this happens, when someone is deranged enough to believe that they're doing the right thing by going on a shooting event, or endangering someone by doing that. And my argument that is if someone is already deranged enough to do something like that, they don't need video games like Grand Theft Auto to enforce in their mind that that is an okay thing to do. And it really comes down to the separation of what is reality versus not in reality. You'll see me in some of my videos where I'll, rob a convenience store. In Grand Theft Auto 5, I totally know that that is acceptable. One, because my consequences will not apply to the real world, and two, because it is a video game and it should have no control on my life. And I know that if I were to do that in real life, that there would be some pretty terrible consequences. I could probably lose my own life, most certainly go to jail, and also could end up hurting someone else, which at the end of the day is terrible. And for that reason, I've always stated that video games will never be the cause of increased violence, because someone that, like I said, already has that in their brain doesn't need a video game to reinforce them to say, hey, you know what, this is acceptable and this is okay. Someone like that already has a blurred vision of what is reality and what is not reality, and a video game isn't going to enforce that anymore. And there's nothing that video game companies like Rockstar or Grand Theft Auto can do about this. They cover themselves on all bases, whether it's parents that are blaming Grand Theft Auto on their children being more violent, or wanting to do these horrible acts. Well, that's why it has an M-rated game, and that's why you should use discretion when giving people that maybe shouldn't be playing these video games the opportunity to get involved. It clearly says it's M-rated on the box. It has violence, nudity, whatever the case might be. So Rockstar is definitely letting you know that this is going to be in their video game, and that's the key word, video game. It's not reality. And it just really sucks when a really good product like Grand Theft Auto, or even games like Call of Duty, is blatantly thrown under the bus and is meant to be a scapegoat for the national media to attach on and say, oh, that's the reason. It isn't anything to do with our laws, or it isn't anything to do with, being a better parent or watching out for people that maybe shouldn't have guns. It's video games. And it just really sucks, because it puts people who love video games, like I'm sure a lot of you guys love video games, and people like me who make videos about video games, just in an awkward situation, because some people are going to get the vibe, oh, well, it's video games that are doing these horrible things to society. No, it's not. It's the people themselves that are just caught up in a modern society where video games like this are more readily available. Shootings and, terrible crimes have been going on forever even when video games weren't around or they weren't prominent, or when Pac-Man was the only video game. You think they were blaming Pac-Man when violent crimes were going on in the 70s and 80s? They were not. So to end my little mini rant here, it just really sucks that games like Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty are thrown under the bus for things that they shouldn't even be involved in. So I really do want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. With all the crazy current events that have gone on, I just want to know, what is your opinion on the whole national media's stance on blaming video games, in particular Grand Theft Auto, which has been brought up in so many different articles? So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Definitely let me know where you stand and what you're thinking on this issue. If you guys did go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like rating. That would be amazing. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Grand Theft Auto 5 videos like this. With that out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.